Football is not only strength, speed, and technique. It's an exact science built on millimeters, seconds, and logic of decision-making. It's a game of minds where not only the fastest, but also the smartest win. It's psychology where one false gesture can send a defender to the other side. And most importantly, it's chess in motion. Some are always one step ahead. And today, we'll consider the moments in which intellect defeats brute strength, where cunning is more important than speed, and analysis of the situation makes footballers real strategic geniuses. And today, I will tell you again about cases of the highest IQ in football. Kevin De Bruyne has repeatedly demonstrated his unique reading and vision of the game, and once again he proved it in one of the matches against Bournemouth. After a pass from Sergio Aguero, Kevin was 1 meter offside, which means it would be better not to touch the ball. So the Belgian, as if walking past the ball, and Raheem Sterling, who ran out from behind him, quickly oriented himself in the situation and went one-on-one with the goalkeeper and then scored a goal. And if we watch the replay, we could see that Bournemouth players lost concentration just because of Kevin's actions. They all put their hands up for a second and turned off from the episode, and especially it was noticeable in the defender, who was standing next to Sterling. That's why Raheem got such a huge space in the penalty area of Bournemouth.
Again. Aguero with a cute little touch. Sterling! That's the second goal. Him again. De Bruyne makes that initial run for this ball.
We go to the match between Ajax and Juventus, which took place in 2019 in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. In the 45th minute of the game, at the score 0-0, players of the Italian club got the opportunity for a corner. First look at the goal itself. Cristiano Ronaldo broke into the free space and almost at point-blank range shot Andre Onana's goal. But even in such a seemingly standard episode of hidden trickery, pay attention to the positions of Bonucci and Ronaldo. And now look how Cristiano circled the penalty area. All this is a brilliant preparation of Juventus players. Leonardo Bonucci did not take his eyes off the leak for a second, but the Dutch defender lost Ronaldo from sight and just did not know what to do next, because he was not defending anyone. And as a result, it turned out that De Ligt simply knocked down his partner in the penalty area, and Bonucci did not allow his fallen opponent to stand up and played as if in the role of a wall. As a result, Ronaldo, who made a decent run in the penalty area, was alone in front of goal. And then it was only needed to score, and it was certainly handled by a master like Ronaldo. Cristiano's goal was the result of a carefully planned and masterfully executed combination. It demonstrates how teamwork and tactical cunning can lead to the successful completion of even a standard game episode.
In by Pjanic, Ronaldo! And he sees the replay for that, unless we've missed something. Just no stopping him! It's the easiest goal he'll score this season. Fairness, you didn't.
Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner kick. I don't think I need to tell you about this episode, which has already become iconic and is known to everyone.
Since he was 6, and he spotted that! Oh, they tore Barcelona nothing!
4 years later, a similar scenario could be seen in the championship match of Saudi Arabia. First, Karim Benzema failed to score a goal from the 11-meter mark, as the goalkeeper made a great save, and here began the most interesting thing. The ball was thrown by the ball boy directly to the corner player, and while the goalkeeper was lying on the field and his partners were thanking him for the save, the Al Ittihad player performed an instant corner kick. As a result, the ball ended up at Abderrazak Hamdallah, and the Moroccan forward, as if in training calmly, sent the ball into the goal net. Some may blame the opponents for stupidity and inattention, but there's no denying the fact that this is a brilliant example of using instant intelligence and understanding of the situation. And it takes a certain skill. And such moments can happen to both Barcelona and Saudi Al-Tai. This episode emphasizes the importance of concentration throughout the 90 minutes of the game. Moving on to Neymar, who amazed audiences in April of 2021. On that day, Bayern and PSG faced each other in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Already in the 3rd minute of the match, the Brazilian gave an excellent assist to Kylian Mbappe. Bayern players thought that Neymar would shoot, but he rolled the ball to Kylian, and the Frenchman finished the attack with a goal. However, we're interested in the episode that happened in the 28th minute. After a corner kick and the following kick out from a defender, it seemed that PSG's attack was over. That's what the home team thought. But suddenly, Neymar carved out some cosmic pass with his non-working left foot towards Marquinhos, taking the Munich defense by surprise. Neymar's compatriot was not confused, outplayed Neuer, and doubled PSG's lead. Everyone was sure it was offside, but the replay clearly showed that Marquinhos was in the right position, and it was probably one of the most brilliant assists of Neymar's career, and one of the best in Champions League history.
Over van Lewandowski. En is het geen buitenspel? En is het de kans voor Marquinhos? En is het 0-2? Er is niet gevlacht. Marquinhos duikt op in de rug van de Bayern defensie. Ze kijken hoopvol nog naar de zijkant en nu naar de VAR. Marquinhos voor...
The Real Madrid player went one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and in such a situation, the most obvious solution was a shot on goal. But instead, the Spaniard gave a delicate heel pass to Karim Benzema, after which the French striker sent the ball into the open goal with one touch. The genius of Guti's pass was not just that it was a heel pass, but that it was a completely illogical and unexpected move, an unusually risky choice. But in his career, the Spaniard has not once distinguished himself with such actions on the field. In one of the matches, Guti again gave an unexpected heel pass. It was an extraordinary level of skill, because the pass was made a few meters away, and with his back to the goal, it seems that only Guti could really make such passes. Later in his autobiography, he wrote the following: "I always remember the heel pass to Karim in the match against Deportivo, but my favorite moment is the other heel pass I gave to Zidane in the game against Sevilla."
Cuando busca la pantalla, Zidane no podía pegarle, el balón para Guti, Guti que tacó.
Oh, qué bonito.
Zidane.
Oh, precioso.
¡Gol del Madrid!
Precioso.
Este sí es un gran gol.
Let's move on to a more recent moment, which takes us to the match between Manchester City and Liverpool on February 23, 2025. Just 14 minutes into the game, the visitors were awarded a corner kick. Instead of the usual cross, Alexis Mac Allister unexpectedly played the ball low to the near goalpost, where Dominic Szoboszlai, without even looking, backheeled a Ronaldinho-style pass into the center of the penalty area. Mohamed Salah was there to strike it from the penalty spot, and after a deflection, the ball flew into the back of City's net. It was a stunning combination from Liverpool. It's hard to say whether it was a pre-rehearsed routine or born out of improvisation, but it all looked incredibly confident and effective. Perhaps this was a unique response from the Reds, because if we remember past encounters, it was Manchester City who once caught their opponent out with a corner. At that time, Kevin De Bruyne unexpectedly delivered it to the near goalpost, and John Stones redirected the ball into the goal with a single touch, leaving the Liverpool defense bewildered. This match proved once again that a duel between top clubs is not just a physical battle, but also a clash of tactical minds. And this time, the intellectual victory went to Liverpool. Despite City's recent dip in form, there was no coincidence in this moment. It was the high football IQ of the visitors that allowed them to unlock the defense of the former English champions.
Goal from a corner. Not many better than Van Dijk and Konate. They've just changed it, and it's going to come back and Liverpool score. It's Mohamed Salah, straight from the training ground. 30 goals for the season.
Let's move on to the art of defending. And it's no surprise that the main hero of this moment was Virgil van Dijk in his best form, the version from the 2018-2019 season. In one moment of the match, the Dutchman found himself in a 2-on-1 situation. He knew perfectly well that Moussa Sissoko plays exclusively with his right foot, and he took up an ideal position, cutting off two attacking options at once, a pass to Son and a potential run by Sissoko himself. The Frenchman hesitated. He didn't expect that the defender, by positioning himself between them, could simultaneously control both the pass and his movement with the ball. During this time, his Liverpool teammates managed to get back and defend. As a result, Sissoko was forced to shoot at the goal himself, but after shifting the ball to his left foot, he sent it over the crossbar. Yes, he could have scored, but a pass to Son was far more dangerous. And that's precisely what Van Dijk coolly eliminated. This decision was an example of true football genius. Not every defender is capable of reading the play so subtly and choosing a position that nullifies all of the opponent's options at once. It's thanks to moments like these that Van Dijk earned his reputation as one of the best defenders in the world. A player who makes key decisions when it matters most.
Here, Sissoko, he's going to do the right thing, he can go for goal! It's never been his strongest suit.
I have to say, any young defenders watching at home here in your 2v1, you must watch Virgil van Dijk.
The combination of Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez is a classic. Back in Barcelona, they proved that their duo could be considered one of the best in the history of football. And even now, when they're almost 40 years old, Messi and Suarez continue to amaze the public with their magic on the field. Firstly, evaluate this goal in dynamics.
That's it run through, it's Messi, the return ball for Suarez, who scores? That dynamite connection, Messi to Suarez again!
At first glance, nothing unusual, but if you look closely, it becomes clear that everything here is built on the genius actions of Suarez. The Uruguayan literally dizzies the defender. He didn't just let him block the trajectory of the pass, but also made him chase himself, thus creating chaos in the defense of the opponent. As a result, the defender floated and lost his position, and Messi, as a real reader of the game, instantly saw the free space and perfectly rolled the ball to Luis. And then all the classics. Shot, goal, and Inter Miami opens the scoring. This moment perfectly demonstrates the football intelligence and mutual understanding of the two legends. They don't just understand each other from half a word. It seems they have a single football mind, because one look is enough to predict the next step of the partner. And even after years, their connection remains so powerful that they cut into the opponent's defense not at the expense of speed, but at the expense of intelligence. Let's move on to a really unusual episode that happened in the match between Burnley and Liverpool. The guests played a positional attack, during which Ryan Gravenberch gave a pass in the center to Harvey Elliott, and the latter took a touch shot at the host goal and sent the ball into the net. Seemingly nothing extraordinary. Elliott calmly celebrated the goal, and the spectators didn't even think that the goal could be cancelled. But suddenly, the head referee, instead of pointing to the center of the field, ran to the VAR monitor, and then the most interesting part began. The replays revealed a tricky tactical move from the Burnley defender. Pay attention to number 5 Lewis Bayer, who was guarding Mohamed Salah. At one point, the German defender pushed the Egyptian slightly offside. Because of this small movement, Salah was behind the defense, just as Elliott was taking a shot. What did the rules say? According to the rules, if a player who is offside creates an obstacle to the goalkeeper, then the goal is to be cancelled. And Salah in this episode really blocked the view of James Trafford, which was a key factor in the decision, as the referee literally in 15 seconds made a decision. The goal is cancelled because of offside Salah. So it turns out that Bayer pushing the Egyptian literally saved his team from missing a goal. After the match, of course, not without controversy. Jurgen Klopp said that Salah had no influence on the episode, but here the Liverpool coach is clearly lying. Mohamed was right in the line of sight of the goalkeeper, and in such situations, the referee almost always fixes offside. By the way, defenders are really taught to push the strikers out of the penalty area or drive them offside, and Bayer clearly acted intentionally. Most likely he just wanted to remove Salah from the episode, but in the end, unexpectedly for himself, pulled off the perfect trap that led to the cancellation of the goal. A very subtle moment that defenders use quite often, but here the main thing is not to overdo it, because a more cunning forward in such a situation can easily earn a penalty.
Chance for Gravenberch, ball into the middle, Elliott in. Great finish from Harvey Elliott. He's in the way, Salah. I think he's certainly in Trafford's eye line.
Give offside.
Ruled out. I think it's the right decision. I think it's a borderline one. Good.
Once again, Lionel Messi is on the scene, having shown some truly brilliant football thinking back in 2014 against Apoel. Everything started as a normal Barcelona positional attack. Nothing supernatural until Javier Mascherano gave an accurate pass forward. But here's the problem. Messi was a meter offside, and now look what the Argentine did, because this is a really unique moment. In just half a second, Lionel analyzed the situation and realized he was offside. He noticed his partner Pedro behind him and deliberately missed the ball, allowing him to take the pass. And then everything was textbook. Pedro instantly returned the ball to Messi, who was no longer offside, and he calmly sent it into the goal. The Apoel players themselves became the victim of Messi's genius, because they automatically stopped and began to raise their hands signaling the referee about the offside, actually switching off from the episode. This allowed Messi without resistance to roll the ball into an open goal. Perhaps this episode doesn't seem something supernatural to you, but it perfectly demonstrates Messi's unique ability to instantly analyze the situation and find non-standard solutions. While others only react, he's already calculating several steps forward. By the way, in our time, such a goal could most likely be cancelled. The judge could consider that even without touching the ball, Messi interfered with defenders or a goalkeeper. Because the interpretation of offside has now become much more complex and subjective. Any decision to count and cancel such a goal would cause a storm of controversy. Remember the previously mentioned cancelled goal of Elliott because of Salah's offside? 10 years ago, it would have been counted with a probability of 100%, and no one would not even have had doubts about the correctness of the decision. Now, football's become so regulated that even a minimal impact of a player offside can lead to the cancellation of the goal.
Defenders to Mascherano. Messi lets it go. He's offside. Pedro isn't. Messi,
right
hat-trick. And there's a rarity. A little Messi hat-trick with his right foot. Just when you...
Again, we return to a brilliant but at the same time absurd moment. In 2010, Arsenal went on a visit to Porto for the match 1 of 8 finals of the Champions League. The meeting went at the usual tempo, but at the beginning of the second half, there was an episode that at one time caused a lot of controversy. Arsenal defender Sol Campbell gave a deliberate pass back to goalkeeper Łukasz Fabianski. He didn't hesitate to grab the ball in his hands, and this is a clear violation of the rules, and the referee awarded a free kick within the Arsenal penalty area. But then began the real football trickery. Porto players reacted lightning fast. Ruben Mikel immediately put the ball on the field and without delay, gave a pass to Radamel Falcao, who calmly sent the ball into the net. The referee counted the goal, which angered not only the Arsenal players, but also the entire crowd. Yes, referee Martin Hansen really did not give a signal, so the shot should have been executed on the whistle. Formally, everything was according to the rules, but the moment itself looked too strange, because Fabianski didn't even try to delay the time, and on the contrary, he himself passed the ball into the hands of the referee, after which he allowed Porto players to instantly play the standard without unnecessary explanations. Arsenal simply didn't have time to understand what was happening, and when he realized it was too late, of course it's worth noting the ingenuity and efficiency of Mikel and Falcao. They did everything right, understood the situation faster than the opponent, and instantly capitalized on it. But on the other hand, doesn't it look strange to say the least? After all, the referee himself created the moment, literally giving the ball into Porto's hands and leaving Arsenal no chance to defend. As a result, Arsenal lost that match, and this episode was decisive because Falcao's goal was the game winner. But in the return meeting at the Emirates, Londoners simply destroyed the Portuguese, sending into their goal 5 unanswered goals and confidently entered the next stage of the tournament. By the way, Martin Hansen had already proved his dubious competence 3 months earlier by scoring the scandalous French goal against Ireland, when Thierry Henry twice played himself with his hand before passing to Gallas, being offside. Why? Similar unexpected refereeing decisions are his signature style. Next up is a true trickster of the football field, Sergio Ramos. Just 2 minutes into the match against Espanyol, he received a deserved yellow card for a rough foul. It seemed there were still 88 minutes of the game to go, and any wrong move could have left Real Madrid with a man down. 20 minutes later, one of the Espanyol players decided to take a shot from 25 meters, and with a powerful strike, hit Ramos directly. The Spaniard immediately fell to the ground, clutching his face, and from the stands, as well as on the broadcast, it looked as though the ball had hit him in the head. Sergio continued to hold his face, and the entire stadium believed in his suffering. But the replay revealed the truth. The ball had actually flown past his face and hit Ramos's hands. It was a deliberate handball, disguised as a blow to the face. Cunning and experience played their part. The referee didn't notice the deception and didn't react to the protests from players and fans. In the end, Sergio avoided a second yellow card, and Real Madrid maintained their full squad and calmly saw the match through to victory. This incident became another piece of evidence. Ramos is not only a master of defense, but also a true strategist, capable of using the opponent's psychology, the pressure from the stands, and even the referee's trust to achieve a result. Luis Suarez's reputation is known to many referees, but in the match against Celtic, the Uruguayan managed to fool everyone in attendance. In the 54th minute of the game, Luis received a pass from Sergio Roberto, and then in the fight for the ball, fell to the turf. From the live broadcast could seem that the Celtic defender broke the rules on Suarez, but the replay shows the striker himself pressed the hand of the defender because he physically could not avoid contact with the Uruguayan. However, the referee immediately appointed a penalty, which without any problems realized Lionel Messi. Let's move on to the episode that was a model of football intelligence in the performance of Dallas player Jesus Ferreira. Everything began with the fact that the guests earned a free kick. And then look for yourself.
Much as he can, Crooks holding up Areola. And there's a free kick coming here for Dallas. And is this the door opening just a creak for the visitors?
Just a bit of a clumsy challenge there from Crooks as he comes back.
You may be thinking, wait, is it possible? Of course he can, because Lionel Messi himself once used it to score a similar goal against Atletico. But if you're wondering why players don't use it more often, let's go through the details. After breaking the rules, the referee must gesture to the whistle. This means that the play can only be performed after a signal. If there's no such gesture, the player can put the ball into play immediately. In this episode, the referee didn't give any indication and took advantage of Ferreira. He instantly read the situation, realized that there was no formality, and without wasting time, sent the ball into the open goal corner of Real Salt Lake. It's difficult to blame the goalkeeper here, because such episodes, although they happen but quite rare, and catch the goalkeeper unaware at such a moment are really possible. But the conclusion for him is obvious. Don't put up the wall in advance before the referee's not given the signal to play. But Ferreira can only be praised. He showed attention, composure, and understanding of the game in the best traditions of football. In 2020, the Juventus players demonstrated an unconventional way to execute a free kick. Miralem Pjanic gave every indication that he was going to cross the ball into the box, but at the last moment, he played a masterful pass to Cristiano Ronaldo. All the Portuguese had to do was finish the move, and he did so in his signature style, striking the ball powerfully and precisely into the bottom corner of Sampdoria's goal. It was clear that the play had been rehearsed. Ronaldo started his run at the exact moment Pjanic moved towards the ball. The perfect timing of their actions led to a flawless goal. And here's proof of why Karim Benzema can be considered a smart footballer. When the Valencia players earned a free kick, one of them slightly rolled the ball to his partner to make the pass. The Frenchman noticed it, and realizing that the touch is already considered the entry of the ball into play, instantly oriented himself and gave a pass to Isco. While the disoriented Valencia players were trying to understand what happened, Gareth Bale was already at the opponent's goal. But unfortunately, the Welsh held the ball too long and failed to realize the moment. But Karim's intelligence that night amazed the fans. It's geniuses of football intelligence like these who continue to amaze us with their decisions on the field. Their thoughts are one step ahead of the play, and their decisions change the course of matches in mere seconds. Who, in your opinion, deserves the title of the smartest footballer in history? Let us know in the comments. Also, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the Footkick channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss new videos about the world of football. And most importantly, love football and take care of yourselves and your loved ones.